Hello and welcome to the next retro. I'm going to say programming, but there might be a few other things as well involved with this, as well as programming. But this is in effect the intro to my new series of retro computer programming. I've done the Commodore 64 assembly tutorials. So far, they are by no means finished, and they will continue. But being British, I can't really ignore this machine here, which is the Acorn BBC Master, which is the sort of last ever version of the BBC Micro series. So, the BBC Micro, okay, was introduced in 1981 by Acorn Computers in collaboration with the BBC, because a part of the BBC's literacy project was to collaborate with a computer that could be used in schools, and schools could buy them at half price. And hence, most school kids, including myself, who were born in the 70s or very early 80s, would be used to seeing something very similar to this in the classroom. Okay, well, this is the Master, not the BBC Micro, which was the Model B, was mostly used in schools before this one came along. This is the Master. This is the 128K version. The BBC Micro came with 32K. And this, I think, this and the Commodore 128 are probably the best, in my opinion, the best 128K 8-bit computers. Well, the best 8-bit computers that came out, I think. The Commodore 101, well, the Commodore 128 out of the box came a bit more ready than this, but this one had a lot more expandability, a lot more than the 128. You know, the 128 did come with a Z80 second processor, so it can natively run CPM. This, you could attach an external coprocessor and do exactly the same. And this had a lot more. You can even put an IBM 086 board in this. So the expandability of this, it beats the 128 hands down. The 128 out of the box with obviously the SID and the VIC-2 and the Z80 on board, and the separate graphics controller, the VDC, out of the box wins. So between the two of them, they've both got their strengths and weaknesses. I'd consider them both the best of the best of the 8-bit lineup of computers that were available for the home user. Anyway, let's look at what I've got. So I've got a PC floppy drive here. I've disconnected that because I've got my Gotek drive connected. But in effect, you can connect a PC floppy drive, and if you've got a high density disk, put this bit of tape over to convert it to a double density disk so the BBC can read it. This is the Gotek with the flash firmware. I've got BBC disk images loaded onto here. Okay, and you can flick through them with this. Well, once you've turned it on, obviously there's nothing on at the moment. I've done some serious pimping to this machine. If you look here, there's a USB port, which you can plug like this, a USB thumb drive loaded with BBC disk images. This is the data center RAM FS that came before the Gotek was in use. So it was a similar thing. It could mount SSD images, but it didn't use the DFS from the floppy controller. It used its own ROM for that, and the whole thing was by Retro Clinic. But it's sort of been superseded by the Gotek because the Gotek uses a native disk controller. I've also inside got a Raspberry Pi multi-coprocessor emulator. We'll have a quick look at that in a minute. And I've got, as part of the data center, you see the USB, I've got an internal compact flash hard disk, okay, which I've stored quite a few things on. And the last thing I've got, well, actually, no, I won't show you the last thing I've got. I'll show you why I've got it. Okay, so I've got this capture on here. Let's turn it on. Right, as we can see, there's our classic BBC Master. Okay, it's got the DFS file system available to it there. Okay, and what I've got in this floppy drive, this GoTech, I've got the Elite disc. Okay, I've switched to the Elite disc. Okay, but look, if we have a look on the disc, we'll get the directory up. Okay, so there's Elite. So we shift brake to boot it. Oh no, this is only available for a BBC microcomputer. Oh, sorry, there's a focus there. Well, this is a BBC microcomputer, but this is the original Elite disc that came out for the BBC Model B. So how do we run this on a BBC Master? Because it isn't 100% compatible with the BBC Model B. Simple. We look at the back. I've got this here, this switch here. And what this does, it's an internal ROM switcher. So I can switch that to the BBC Model B ROMs. So if I turn the machine off, okay, flips it all the way around because it's got the Model B Plus ROMs as well, and turn it on again. There we can see, we're now seeing what is effectively a Model B. Now if I shift brake, we can see Elite loading up. That capture message will disappear in a sec. There we go. That's the original Elite. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the capture device and we'll go through a few of the features that this particular BBC Master has. Right, okay, so we've got everything captured. You can see the computer here. Let's fire up Elite. Here we go, the original Elite, the disc version. There's a cassette version which was a little bit smaller, but this is the disc version. Okay, so we can look. There's the original graphics. You can see it's a little bit flickery there. Let's do our classic look at the performance. So we'll launch off there. So if we move around, see, you can see it's quite sort of slow and flickery, but it was still groundbreaking at the time nonetheless. Let's go to Leasty. I mean, I will be doing a separate original Elite versions on different platforms comparison video, but this is just to show you what we can do on this BBC here. Okay, here we are. So we can move around. So it's a little bit smoother when we're sort of quite a distance, and it's got less to render. So we'll just pop that up there. Line up, and then hit space. Oh, so I mean, this isn't an Elite Dangerous, or Elite Dangerous, an Elite gameplay video. We've got something there. Oh, they're shooting at me. I mean, the speed I'm going to get blown out the sky anyway. I think the third lances. Oh. And I can't really play very much because I'm looking at what's on the capture card. So there's a massive amount of latency between hitting the key. So I can try, but where's that fucker who's shooting me there? Oh, there's one blown up. I mean, this is not. It's not going to be a gameplay video. We're going to have a proper one for that. Oh. I don't know, can't remember the keys for the missile. Oh, hitting the wrong key for that. I've lost my HDMI splitter, so I can't capture at the same time as watch it on the proper screen live. I think he's running, isn't he? Yeah, he's getting further and further away, and I'm at full speed. And that's for the other one. Yeah. Well, let's see if he comes back. Let's head back towards the planet. Let's see if they come back. No, I'm still mass locked. My shields are recharging. That's good. Yeah, interesting to see what the latency is. Yeah, still, yeah, a couple of hundred milliseconds because I'm watching it through the Windows capture, not directly on the TV. So once I find my HDMI splitter, then I can record and watch it on the on the telly while I'm recording. Well, anyway, that is the original BBC Elite, and we're managing to play it on the BBC Master, which is, I think, quite an achievement. So let's come out of this. Okay, we'll turn it off. I'll flick round to the master ROM. Okay, there's this. We've got my hard disk on it. I think. Drive naught, is it? No, well, I do have a hard disk on this set up. There it is. Okay. Well, so let's go to Acorns of Games 1, because the version of Elite I've got on this GoTech is just the BBC Model B only. So look, we've got this on the hard disk. We've got all these versions. Okay, so at the moment the only one that's highlighted or we can use is the Master Elite, because we're now using the BBC Master ROMs. Hardware, they're 100% compatible, the Model B and the Model and the Master and everything else, but with the OS in the ROM chips, they aren't. So that's why the Model B version does not work. But if you can already see the difference, there's more colours on the bottom mode, which is I think mode 2 instead of mode 5. Much more colours. Mode 4 for the main screen, that's using more colours as well. So let's do our quick usual thing here. We need to launch first. Okay, so if we move around here, you can already see that the graphics do seem a bit smoother and a bit less flickery. So back to Leasty with us. Hit return, hit H for hyperspace. There's our countdown. There we go, slightly different sounds. Yeah, again, this is a bit faster as well. Right, full speed. Ooh. There we go, we've gone quite a bit there. What's that coming? That looks like an asteroid if it's red. We blow it up anyway if we can. I think we're going a bit fast there. I've slowed us down. There it is. Oh, there's a blue one coming anyway, look. There you go, asteroids blowing up. What about these? Well, these are firing. This one. Oh, get hit by all of them. Right. Missed. Let's increase speed a bit. I never got the hang of using these keys. Oh. I need to get a bit closer to him. Oh, I got him there. That's one down. This other one's quite far away, but he's still firing on us. Slow down a little bit. What is it, a sidewinder? Oh God, it's hard work. Ugh. It's a lot more sensitive. Oh, still managing to miss him. Slow down a bit. Where did he go? Oh, he run. Full speed then. And he's running. Oh, that sounded good. Oh, so hard doing this. Oh look, I'm near the station now. I'm in the armistice zone. So if I shoot people in this, and the coppers will come and get me. Should be able to see the station. There it is. Right, so position yourself between the two, like that. Oh, so sensitive. Oh. And when you can see it out the right hand window, which is there, oh, there, slow down. This wasn't going to be an elite video, but I just can't help myself. Well, we'll quickly fail at docking, then we'll have a quick look at something else after this. Right, I want to sort of move that way, but you can't with this. I haven't got the controls. Right, okay, so once that gets out of view there, we'll switch to the looking out this window. Okay, slow down a bit. We'll wait till about there. Okay. Now, if I remember rightly, and bearing in mind I've not done this for a little while, quite a little while. Right, just head a little bit towards the centre. Okay, then stop. Head towards the actual middle of the planet, because in the original Elite, the entrance always faced the centre of the planet. So I think we're pretty much central there. Right, that'll do. Now, head towards this. I'm making like sort of slight adjustments as we head towards it. I will probably completely bollocks this up, as is my way. But we'll give it a go. Perhaps a little bit more speed as we approach. And I'll slow down in a sec. That looks pretty central to me. Slow down a little bit. And we'll start lining up. Using the rotate key, we'll line up with that. There we go. Oh, straight in. Look at that. First go. Right, okay. Well, there we have the BBC Master version of Elite. You can see the difference there. So one thing I mentioned earlier, inside this computer, we've got a Raspberry Pi coprocessor emulator. So let's turn the tube on, configure tube. There you can see that. Now this has got lots of different modes on it. Okay, different processors that it can emulate. It's got the 6502, a couple of different speeds. It's got a few I've never heard of. It's got a Z80 and it's got an IBM 286. So we'll and you switch between them. For example, like my I don't know what this is there. Oh, that's my Elite. It's in drive 0. Oh, I might be able to see my hard drive now. There's my hard drive. See, with all my stuff on. Okay. Anyway, so if you see, there's a folder called DOS there, and I've installed. I think it's FreeDOS or PC DOS or something, because MS DOS isn't quite compatible with this, but because of the actual video hardware. But if I switch FX 150.151.230.8, I believe that will put us in the 286 processor. Yeah, see that? With 960k of memory, that's a big jump from 128. So let's just completely control break this. And look, we're going to boot from my hard disk. There we go. So effectively, this is now, it's not a Master 128, it's a Master 512, because it's got the IBM processor and the extra memory. So if we look, so we've got exes, CMD files, there's all sorts we've got in here. I think there's an edit program, etc. But what I have installed is with the Master 512, there was a desktop operating system called JimJim, which for any ST owners, it may look familiar because this was the precursor to what became the OS for the Atari ST. Now, unfortunately, I can't do much to show you because I don't have a mouse for this BBC. I need to get an adapter to use a PS2 or USB mouse. As you can see, I've got two default programs on there. There's the Paint and the Write. Okay, and then obviously the disk drives, you can see the hard drive and It says 2 floppy, but there is only 1, and I can't even use the cursors to move the mouse around or any of the keys. But that's it. Okay, so let's boot this. Yes, let's boot it again. Right, let's just press break. That'll give us a start prompt. So FX 151, 230, 1. Ah, no, there's me mistyping it. 230, 1, and reboot, and we get back to our 6502. Shift break, and now this is loading Elite, but this is something a little bit different. This is the co-processor edition of Elite, which apparently was quite hard to get hold of back in the day. But look how fast the animation is. And I think the co-processor in this Raspberry Pi runs at quite a few megahertz more than the original Acorn one did. Or you can configure it to do that. Right, so there's our Star Warsy type intro, the executive version. Gonna wait for that, and they're good. I don't know if Ian Bell and David Braden actually wrote this or for the code processor. I have no idea. Should really research that. There we go. Right, how do I get out of this? Congratulations on obtaining a copy of this executive or elusive product. Wow. Little did they know at the time the power of the internet in a few years, or a few decades perhaps. Okay, so this is, I think actually we are emulating, we're doing it in version 1, we're emulating the original speed version of the 6502 because I've seen it faster on this machine. Right, see, look, we've got a nice new font, so we won't load a commander, we'll press space or fire. Okay, let's do our usual, and look, that is a lot quicker, and there's a lot more game content as well apparently in this version. Okay, so usual, down to leasty, H, here's our countdown. Wow, that is fast still. Oh, it's in fact really hard to control. Right, roughly at the centre. Wow, and I think we're almost there. I don't think there's anything coming this time. Yeah, mass locked. I can't see anything coming. So it shouldn't be long before we are in the safe zone where we can't fire. It was real when I did it on the master version. I was lucky not to get arrested. This is when those. What's that? We got a meteorite. I did see a red flicker, but no. It's obviously some artifact on the screen. Okay, come on. Our shields all nicely charged. I can't remember how you lock a missile on. I don't know. It's M to lock missile, or something else to fire it, or L to lock missile, and then something else to fire it. Oh, I can't remember. I'm sure I can find out very quickly though, if I need to. That's a shame we didn't get anybody trying to hit us. Right, okay. Let's find where the station is. Can you just use a navigation blob? Still used in Elite Dangerous today. That style of radar. Oh, there it is. Oh. So position herself between the two. Oh God, it's so sensitive when it's so fast. We'll try exactly the same as what we just did. And we'll probably destroy our ship in the process. But there we go. With Elite, every time you successfully dock, you save the game. I remember. Because if you mess the docking up and you had a load of cargo on board and just, you know, you save the game. That way, if you got blown up by pirates or whatever, then you could just reload it and you didn't lose all your progress. Okay, let's look at our right view. Till the oh, I wasn't going full pelt, was I? Station should come into view. There it is. Oh, there we go. Back to the front view. We'll fly towards the planet. I think we're all pretty much lined up anyway, but well, let's go towards the station, then turn towards the planet and see what happens if we need to. I think we're pretty well lined up here. Oh God, this is hard. Oh. That'll do. Right. Give it some acceleration. I think we're quite well lined up, to be honest. Shame we haven't got any cargo to sell. Right, look at the speed that's rotating as we're getting near and it's getting bigger. Okay. Slow down a bit. Okay, I think I've nailed that on with the aim. Right. In again, look at that. 2 out of 2. Right. Okay, so they are the 3 main versions of Elite on this BBC Master, and I'm fortunate with the pimping I've done to this. I've actually in a position where I can choose which version I want to play. I don't think the save games are compatible between the two. I'll tell you one thing that's quite interesting on here. If we flick to DFS mode, not ADFS mode, let's load a game. It's just interesting how, I'll find it, on my GoTech. Oh, I'm flicking through all my Amiga games on here as well because they're all on the same disc. There we go. Look on here. Manic Miner, yeah? See, when you run it as on a BBC Master, look at this. Look at the state of that. Oh, I just realised it's crashed. I think it's because I've still got the tube enabled. So that's. Oh. Let's boot off this disc again. Right, now it's loading. There, see, again, like the C64, if you've seen from our program videos, you can do customize character graphics, but it does not seem to have worked here at all. Look at that. I mean, look at it. There's Minor Willie. Well, let's go along. Look. Looks terrible. Oh. Oh, and I've fallen through a hole. And look, yeah, it's completely crashed. So look, all we need to do is turn it off. Move my special ROM thing over. Now we're back running as a Model B. Boot off the disk. There we go, look, see the custom graphics are all as they should be. Original programmer Matt Smith, what a legend. It's a shame he sort of lost his way a little bit. Coding this in his bedroom. Right. There we go, that looks much better. Oh, I love a bit of Manic Miner. As you see, I did a video on all the different versions of Manic Miner, so I'm going to be doing something very similar with the original Elite. As well as doing some BBC Micro programming videos in the same sort of way as I've done the Commodore 64 ones. God, I can do this from muscle memory. He says. Probably completely mess it up in a sec. Oh. Oh, there we go, see? Right, and there we have the BBC Master that's also a Model B and also a 512 and everything else. So this is a sort of introduction to a series I'll be doing on some programming on the BBC computer using cross-assembler on the PC like we do with the Commodore 64, and maybe we'll also explore some other games. There's some absolute classic games on the BBC, and yeah, some other software as well. So yeah, I will wrap it up here and I will see you on the next one.